Ladies and gentlemen, happy Devil's Night. Tonight's the night we kill the guy that comes back as the Crow.
Ooh, that's right. The remake?
The actor? Or?
No, the original one.
Okay.
Was set on Devil's Night. I didn't watch
City of Angels?
I watched it. No, not the first sequel.
Not that one.
No.
Wait, isn't City of Angels the one with Meg Ryan and
there's
the Angels?
two. There's the Crow.
The Crow, City of Angels.
And then there's also the one where he's Nicolas Cage as a sexy ghost.
Angel. He's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a human to be with her, and then she immediately gets hit by a bike or a bus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tragic story.
And he's like, no, now I have to go to hell because I gave up my angelhood.
Yep. Yeah. It's a rough ending.
Man.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage's real life.
That's right.
Autobiography.
Yep. Welcome to Normal World, everybody. This is what you're getting.
We hope you like it.
I did like that movie, though. I would watch it with my girlfriend.
Oh.
Because she liked it.
Oh.
And I was like, put it on.
Again.
Put it on, because we know you're not going to be seeing the whole thing if you get my drift.
Never see the ending.
Nope. This ain't going to suck itself, ho.
Right?
That is one of those movies that's like kind of a panty dropper.
Oh, it is.
Like Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, Meet Joe Black's a good movie.
Yeah.
What is that one again now? I've heard
That's
the
where
name.
he's a demon. He's death. He's death.
He's not a demon.
Oh.
With Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
And Brad Pitt, he starts falling in love with Anthony Hopkins' daughter, even though he's deaf. He's just trying to go on vacation to see what it's like to be a human.
Yeah.
And then he like really likes being a human because it's great.
So wait, who's death? Anthony Hopkins?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Bradley Pittman.
Brad
You got to
Pitt.
watch this. It's my all-time favorite movie.
Brad Pitt, too.
All-time favorite
It's
movie.
actually
number
a
one.
really
Prime,
good movie, yeah.
Prime Brad Pitt,
Yes,
like
the
2000,
90,
late
98.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90 or 99.
It's good Brad Pitt right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's past Fight Club.
Yeah, well, 99 was Fight Club.
But yeah.
It was like right before.
No, it was right. It was after
That's
Fight
it.
Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually is a good movie. And I did watch that a lot because girls liked it.
Mm-hmm. My friend Tucker from college always said that if he wanted to get a girl in bed, he'd just put on Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Because they're thinking about Brad Pitt.
It's all emotional.
It's very
And
emotional.
it gets them into the mood.
It's all in their head is how they go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a mental thing.
Ours is a pump.
Yeah.
Like a shotgun.
And a dump. What's your name?
Dave.
Your name's Dave. Dave Landau. Where do people see you in real life? If
I'll tell you where they can see me. November 8th and 9th, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. And also, November 29th and 30th, I will be in Alpharetta, Georgia. It's for About Face USA. It raises money for the families of people that have been hurt in war or have not gotten their medical bills paid for by the VA. It's
a lot.
I have family that runs this. Yeah, I'm doing it for my dad. I don't take any money. This is just going all to veterans to thank you for what you do for us. So it's in Alpharetta, Georgia. Again, that's About Face USA, but you can get tickets at davelanda.com. November 29th and 30th. All of it goes to veterans.
That's awesome, man. How did that other charity event go? The Toys for Tots.
It was good, but they did it during a football game at a school, but they didn't know that they were going to be, I guess, really good this year.
Yeah.
So the whole lot was filled with people going to the football game, and we were in the auditorium. I mean, we still had a couple hundred.
You make people feel bad, though, and you're like, this is for kids.
Yeah, it was like, you cannot help feed your community.
Yeah.
Guess that's cool.
Go buy
It was still fun, though. I mean, they were big fans of the show.
Awesome.
A lot of people wearing, like, old Ahoy shirts, but they were all, like, Normal World fans, so it was pretty
Heck
cool.
yeah.
It was our people.
Yeah, our people.
Where can they see you up in the club?
On my channel, Nega Garrett, where I drop videos every month, and you can go check it out. I have a video that just came out last week, and you can enjoy that and the other videos as well. Angela?
I am on YouTube as Angela Does Horror. I should have, if all goes according to plan, a video up tomorrow for Halloween that you can check out. But after you check out our sketch-tacular episode
That's right.
first.
Halloween special tomorrow night. So after all the kids are done eating their candies, you can come snuggle up with your loved ones on the couch and get embarrassed.
This one's pretty clean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say invite the kids, but I mean, if you get, if they're over like 12.
Yeah.
They can hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that
I'd
bad.
still-
It's for
I'd
us.
Yeah. It's, yeah. I think. I
If
don't
you
know.
Yeah,
got
I
cool
can't remember.
Kids, if you got cool kids, you know.
Oh, we forgot about the
They, like,
dildo
wear-
monster sketch.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
We might have to cut
Oh,
that.
man. It's because I keep forgetting to bring it in.
Yeah, dang
I
it.
keep just using it at home.
Yeah, and
You
then
said
the
you weren't
dry
using
cleaning
it.
bill.
My car's like just tipped over.
Doesn't fit in the
So heavy.
dishwasher. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
just-
throw it
Yeah, what
on
am I
top
going
of
to
the
do
car.
with this? That was unbelievable.
Car
And then you
wash.
have to put a tarp on that because you don't want people to see it because then they get jealous.
You got to get it washed, though.
Yeah.
You got to peel back the skin and get it washed.
Yeah, because you build up like that chalky.
It's a big, giant, uncircumcised
That's all it is.
car penis.
It's not even a monster. It's just a.
And then we just drive it at people when we chase homeless people down with our penis car.
Most of the time, they come to the car.
They
They'll
well,
run
it's 'cause
away.
we wave money at them. But then right when they get it, we go, whoop,
Oh, gotcha.
we're just kidding.
Pull the hood down.
But also, we're hunting and you're the game.
Wait, which hood? It's uncircumcised, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't like those.
Uncircumcised.
I prefer
have a
man
preference?
with a good circumcision. I like to know he's a man of the cloth.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Looks like an alien.
No, I don't need your Muhammad dick.
Ugh.
Nonsense. So that is a nonsense. You say you come into this art.
you shy?
You don't have a sock covering. It is weird that we're the ones though that decide.
The parents?
Like no, just the parents do decide, but
Yeah.
also you're also like it came with the frame. You know what I mean? Like maybe we shouldn't be getting rid of all these parts, thinking we know better.
What?
It's like the appendix. We're like, I don't know, you can just take that out and live without it. And it turns out they were right.
People in the Bible were like, well, God told us we have to do this.
It's for sanitary reasons.
How did he tell you?
And to separate yourself
What did he say?
from the unclean.
Was it him or was it somebody else?
It was his
Somebody
wife being
sneaked their own
like,
little thing in there.
"Hey,
God's
I'm
wife?
a ghost.
It stings if you don't.
Please clean that.
Gross.
Oh, there's lint in it. Ooh.
I think it's a good decision overall.
Yeah, I got mine
It worked out.
circumcised. And then I got it. Then
Later on, you're like,
I got it tailored. I got it. I was born with it there. They circumcised
everybody
me at
does,
birth. And then I went and got a second draft probably about
Was there a
Cleaned up
mess
their
up
mech-
the first time?
Yeah, my 19th birthday. Yeah, it was a little off. It wasn't
it's
like
hard to judge what it's going to turn out to
Yeah.
be when you're
You're
a
a
little
young
baby.
baby.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
then
like
you're just stuck with whatever hack job's going on down
it
there.
looked like Phantom of the Penis. It
See, I
was
feel
just
like
a
if I have a
half hook.
boy,
You put a little mask on it, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, da, 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 da. Put a little hood on
I don't want
it,
to have to decide.
but like a cape.
You gotta make that call though.
Yeah, but I would want to leave it because I'm more like,
But if you leave it, then like there isn't.
And the woman can experience an orgasm. Oh, we're talking about men's? I'm talking about circumcising men. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on a different
you're on the Rosemary Kennedy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
All right.
No, my penis was well circumcised. I have to say the doctor did a fine job.
Good.
I actually came back later in life when I was about 19 just to shake his hand.
Yeah, just like here's a
I
tip.
said, hey,
Here's a tip.
put it there.
Good job.
And he said, I'm not the one that did it. It was a rabbi, and he's downstairs. And I said, I'm not shaking that.
You think they could do patterns?
I bet you they could.
You
I
know,
mean,
Zigzag?
like a Dracula.
Oh. Hood?
maybe it could open.
Yeah, like it has like
a Stranger
like a collar.
Things monster.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Those
Yeah.
lizards that
80s
go.
Yeah. When it
Jurassic
sprays.
Park.
Listen, when I finish, it's going to burn.
It's gonna look like
How
you're
so?
an employee.
It has
Jurassic Park.
It has wings on the side of it that come out.
I'm just saying we can have fun with it too.
I mean, that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know it's gonna burn.
And why not?
It always does.
Does it? I don't know.
Damn, Mike, what are you eating?
I've always enjoyed it. Look. In prison, you either kick somebody's ass or become somebody's bitch. I
you do what you gotta do.
Pass the salt.
Mm.
Boy, did they hand it to me since.
Toss a little over your shoulder for luck.
Not with his hand there.
This is what happens when we don't have a guest in the room.
I would deliberately
I
wanted
enjoy
that
it.
to be an awkward pause of like looking down and having a memory of like, I remember.
There's art to an awkward pause.
There is. There's great art to it.
Hit it. We love you. Thank you for
Mwah.
commenting.
Yeah, hit
Subscribing.
subscribe, hit like, and go to the other channels and hit like and subscribe.
Yeah, we are on Spotify and all those places, so you can review it there, and it actually matters when you put a positive review. It pushes you up in the rankings, and we like that. We like to be pushed up in the rankings, so please, thank you.
And if you sub for us behind the paywall, let us know. I'm keeping a count.
Yeah, because we don't get that kind of information. They don't tell us.
Just shoot it over.
Tell us. You tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan podcast. It was a cool interview. I actually really liked it.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of the Joe Rogan podcast?
Mm.
Well, it's a really famous podcast. It started off with a guy named Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
He's a comedian.
And he had who on?
This guy, his name's Donald.
I don't watch TV.
It's okay. Did you watch The Apprentice?
No, I have an
show.
apprentice.
Okay. What's his
for
name?
painting.
What's his name?
Peter.
Peter the Apprentice?
Well, Peter.
Oh, okay. He's a French guy.
You have to roll it.
Okay. What about Home Alone 2? Did you see that?
Every night.
Okay. Well, when Kevin McAllister is like looking for the directions, and then there's a guy there, and he's like telling him where it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Donald Trump.
I don't look at that part.
Well, he was on
I don't like directions. They make me nervous.
Is it because you're a man?
Yeah, just
Men
because
don't like
I don't.
directions or something.
Well, no, I just think I should follow my nose like Toucan Sam if I want to go anywhere.
And if anybody needs directions, that they're like less.
Has Toucan Sam been on this experience?
I don't think so yet, but if you do enough DMT, probably.
Okay, well, I'm all out of fucks, so why don't you tell the audience? Yeah, so Trump was on Rogan, you said?
Trump was on there, and people weren't sure if it was going to actually happen, but it actually did happen.
It did?
And it turned out to actually be a good interview.
I've not seen the whole thing, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah, Joe kind of started off just getting to know Trump a little bit, asking him how it was becoming the president, and then kind of went down the line talking about the assassination attempt, asked him about his ear. We have a clip for that? Let's play that
we
clip.
do.
I was.
He was a nice
once
guy.
they shot you, I was like, he's got to come in here. It's all about timing. It's all about the timing.
Timing's
I think
good.
our timing's perfect. Do you even have a scar on your ear? You got anything on there?
I do.
Let me say. What do you got
So right over here.
there? Oh, it's a tiny little
See,
mark.
it zicked right there.
Yeah. It healed up pretty fucking good.
Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's little. It's not like some of the wrestlers, some of the UFC fighters.
No, you didn't
It's
get
a little bit-
cauliflower
No. It was sort of like a top shot.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the bullet was a
Boy.
little of the ass, but you see the thing's taken off a little bit. But it makes me a tougher guy. You know, the fighters.
I think Trump did a really good job in this interview. I think like Joe barely even talked in it. It was mostly Donald Trump, and it was just him kind of chatting about his respect for America, and then kind of throwing some jabs at Kamala, because he was like, Kamala, she'd be comatose on the ground if she was in here. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She should do it. She should do it. She'd look horrible. But mostly it just kind of made him look like a normal person and not a.
Well, I think the fact that he's doing
Larger
all
than
these
life.
podcasts is what's making it more beneficial
Yeah.
to him, because he's being, I mean, it's so strange to say humanized when you're talking about a person, but it is making him, more relatable and people understand him better. And I think he's gained a lot of fans from it. Mm-hmm. Where as opposed to before, where it was just sort of, there's so much polarizing with presidential politics that a lot of people I think have just not paid attention. But we are going into something very serious.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm hearing like his takes, his policies. She says that I read today that she didn't technically say she's not going to do the show.
Right.
So I'd like to see if that actually does happen.
She just wanted him to go to her, and he said that he wanted to do it in Austin.
Yeah.
It's not that she refused.
Well, not just that.
But he likes his home court. I mean,
Right.
that's just the
Yeah.
comfort of it.
She wanted him to fly to her and limit it to just an hour. And he was like, well, I think the podcast should be in this space. It should just be like the other one. I want to get to know you. It'd be hard to get to know somebody over the course of 1 hour like that, especially in his style of interviewing. It takes a while. You have a lot of like open conversation that's not about points or your policies or whatever. Like the first hour of Donald Trump was just him talking about going into the Lincoln Suite at the White House and talking about the percentages of the presidents that came before him and stuff like that. And it wasn't like his policy or why he did this or why he did that. It was just kind of like open conversation. And Kamala's not gonna be able to do that.
No.
He would just like talk in circles for 10 minutes and be like, okay, got it. We need to get out of here.
And the fact that Trump was willing to go there to do it and she wasn't just makes Trump look better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's Trump. Like, he's just as busy.
Yeah.
Oh, by far. And it was just before he went to do that big rally at Madison Square Garden. And it's just, and a lot of Jewish people are upset about that, rightfully. But I think they're just really, really tired of hearing that, Hitler's back.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's why I think these podcast things are more refreshing, because it's just, I'm so tired of politics in general and like that circus that it is, and like the debates and the news, talk news, people just yip yapping and like who gives a fuck about any of that shit? I'm so tired of it. Like none of us listen to those things. Like if you're listening to the mainstream news and getting your opinions from that, like I don't know what to do with. Like we're so deep into this at this point. We've seen so many examples of why they're lying, why they're not, they shouldn't be listened to. So like, I like to hear candidates, and we talked about this before. They should both be in that room. They should both have a conversation. I think they should have a room like that, and Joe shouldn't even be there. It should just be the two of them having a conversation. Because I want to hear that. I want to see these two candidates have an actual, genuine conversation with each other. And like hash out, like, why do you think this way? Why do you think that way? I would benefit from hearing a candidate talk like that than in these like fake scenarios that we've set up.
Well, and they absolutely don't want you to have that, though.
Right.
I mean, it would be interesting to hear them talk back and forth, but it's almost impossible if there's not somebody there to kind of stop it, or you don't want certain information getting out. You don't want stuff to go too far. I mean, there's always a lot of control with these things. And if you turn on, like I've turned on MSNBC, like just randomly, if you turn on a TV in America that's in a hotel, it's either on MSNBC or Fox. It just depends what city you're in.
Yeah.
And like the stuff I hear on NBC on MSNBC is insane.
Legitimately insane.
It's somebody
when Anderson Cooper is calling you out for your insane takes, like you got a problem.
Yeah. And just the use though of Nazi, saying he's literally Hitler, Nazi. I'm like, you can watch the History Channel about Nazis and they won't mention Nazis as much as MSNBC mentions Nazis in a half an hour.
Yeah. It's
absolutely nuts.
It means nothing. It's like we've always talked about it. Like it means nothing. These words don't mean anything when the legitimate comparisons are he said there's good people on both sides. Well, that was already debunked a long time ago, and they keep bringing it up. They had what was that, Scarborough Morning Joe, a lady on that. She was she went through like every single debunked point that the Democrats have been saying for the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. They've gone through it. She like repeated all of them as if they were all fact. And it's like late, and she looks so tired. And it just seemed like they were just saying the same thing again and again and again. And it's just very boring to me.
Well, it's just putting it out there so much that you make it real. It's like if you lie enough times, it's just,
who said that?
I don't know.
Who said that?
Confucius?
That was somebody in the Nazi Party. Who was the propagandist for the Nazi Party said that, didn't he?
He was an artist who was good at drawing large noses, I'll tell you that, who worked on those propaganda pieces.
If you believe a lie long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Goebbels?
It was.
Was it Goebbels?
Yeah, Goebbels.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, though. I mean, that's the strategy. You're using a Nazi strategy to put it out there, to actually call someone else.
Isn't that strange?
You're just projecting your own bullshit on somebody else. And I really am worried about next week because I think people, I don't know, there is a rage in this country, whether we want to believe it or not, that you can feel. And I think the reality is most people, though, don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
There are going to be issues, I think, if either win, but I think way more if he wins. And I still want him to win.
You think like last time he won, 2016,
do you even think they'll let him
at
win?
that level?
Do you even think they'll let it happen?
Yeah.
I'll say it. I think that he'll win, but I don't think they'll let it happen.
I think they're absolutely going to let it happen because
I'd be shocked.
This has been my call on Kamala this whole time. The second that Joe Biden went up and did that debate and he failed, he looked completely incompetent. They decided, okay, we're going to flip We can't run him all the way through. He's not going to win.
No.
So we can't give the campaign funds to anybody else outside of Joe's cabinet. We have to give it to Kamala. So we're going to burn Kamala. We don't like her anyways. We're going to run her. If she wins, cool. We're going to do our best. You know, we're going to give it half-assed, because that's what it seems like. It seems like a half-assed push to get her in. Bunch of really they just use the campaign funds to pay a bunch of Z-list celebrities to say, hey, we endorse her. If she wins,
or
cool.
They used blackmail, one or the other.
Yeah, you know, column A, column B.
Who knows?
We run her through. If she wins, great. If she doesn't, who cares? We're then going to whine for 3.5 years while Trump is in office. That gives us something to do for 3 years. And then also, we're going to be getting our next guy up. We're going to be getting, my call is Gavin Newsom. I think they're going to be buttering him up.
I think they already are.
Because as soon as that happened, the first person MSNBC put on, Gavin Newsom. And he went, hey, I love Joe Biden, but, you know, he just didn't have a great showing tonight, and it was just really unfortunate, but I like the guy. And then right after that, what did he do? He did executive orders to clean up the homeless encampments. He's in the streets cleaning up trash. Like, they're already gearing him up to be the guy next time. So because people don't remember, especially people in California, apparently, they do not remember what happened 3 years ago. So in 3 years, when the next election comes up, they're going to be like, I love Gavin Newsom.
Well,
He's so handsome.
There's people that are still living it. And again, I mean, your politicians lie to you. A lot of them are corrupt. A lot of them are cheating you. But I mean, he's a prime example of somebody who shut everything down.
Yes.
Did not practice what he preached. Went to the, English Laundry, the restaurant.
Dude, multiple times.
Threw parties. But he's a completely rules for you, not for me. Mm-hmm. And I really detest him. Like, he's done such a horrible job with California. Yeah. The idea that you would look at Hollywood Boulevard and just see the disaster of drugs and homelessness and crime that is, and go, you know what? He should run the country. We should have more of this where we're not helping people. We're not stopping the drugs from coming in. We're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. We're just letting it go to hell. And why? Because if you don't, you're racist or whatever other line they'll pull out. That's why it's so frustrating, is if you have any opinion that's even pro-America, pro-soldier, any of that seems to go against everything that they stand for. Yeah.
He's slick. You know, he's slick and handsome. In one of my videos, I talked to the lady in L.A. I had a conversation with the lady in L.A. The first thing I said to her was like, hey, I'm having conversations with real residents of L.A. to see how they feel about living here. She said, oh, it's horrible, it's dirty, and it's dangerous. And I was like, oh, we might have like a secret Trump supporter here in L.A. And while I talked to her, she was explaining how horrible it was. And then in the same breath said, but I love Gavin Newsom. And I said, well, why? He's so handsome. Were the literal words that came out of her mouth.
Yeah, but that's
that's the cognitive dissonance, like not understanding the physical things that you're living in and how those things came to be, and the people that are running the place. They'll continue to vote for that.
Well, how has anybody ever gotten away with, well, I guess not ever, but a lot of the reasons why people can get away with stuff and get ahead is because they are attractive.
Right.
Sex appeal sells. It always has. That includes politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's
especially in politics.
Yeah, and and I mean, I'm not shocked at all that that's what people think about him, because that's what they're voting for. There's a power to him as well. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's so eerie, though, because honestly, I've said it 100 times. I just see him as Patrick Bateman.
Absolutely, dude.
I just think he's awful, but I think so many of them are awful. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that the American taxpayers have to stop funding everything, including overseas wars.
Yes.
There does need to be something done with the border, because it's not about hurting other people or going against races. You got to stop people from coming in, and that goes for the northern border that people don't talk about either. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest fentanyl busts was in Michigan. Like, it's both borders. It's people coming in on both sides. It's all over the place, where there's so many things to focus on. So we have to pinpoint these little things to say, like, all right, well, this is racist, this is offensive, this is this, whatever. We can't. It's enough already. Like, we do have to repair the country, and we have to live as if we are a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And we're not. We're a broke, country, trillions of dollars in debt with trillions of dollars in credit card debt. Our dollar's not worth anything. There's
That's
more
fake
billionaires than ever, which people act like is good, and not the fact that we're just losing money. So it's able to create more of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's very bad the direction that we're headed. Housing markets where you can't afford to get a home. I mean, how can you look at that and go, all right, 10%. You're going to pay a 10 to 15%, let's say, interest rate on a house. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. And I think that's why they are kind of throwing this election and they're throwing Kamala in because I don't think they want to run the next 4 years because they've trashed it the last 4 years and they're seeing what's coming down the pike and they're like, if we dip out for 4 years, we can always come back in 4. And then all the bad stuff that's going to come down because of all the decisions we made, we'll just pin on Trump. His second term, say, oh, Trump did it. Trump made all these bad decisions.
And that's what they did with COVID and the lockdowns and everything.
Exactly.
But
I think they're doing that.
Yeah, but they don't pay attention to also Fauci and other people that were in power that were giving all that direction. You can't break it down to one man. There was a lot of people that were accountable and are completely irresponsible. And that's something that, like, when I still see masks now, I'm so confused. Like, whenever I see that, it's like, you're still doing
California's going back.
Oh, I know,
that?
but even in Texas at the airport the other day.
You see them everywhere.
And it's
There's
the
people that are just broken.
Well, it's the cloth masks, too, where it's like you just have PTSD.
Yeah.
Like, that's proven to not do anything.
I think as soon as that happened, I was like,
Am I not allowed to say that on
people
here?
are just broken.
I was just worried about your papers.
I
Lost
got my
all the
papers.
But
Show me
yeah,
your papers.
I think that's what's happening. I absolutely think that's what's happening. I think they're going to let Trump get in. I don't think it's going to be as crazy. I mean, hey, look, it's a week from now. Maybe it'll be crazy, but I don't think it is because it's kind of like they're washing their hands because they're like, oh, there's some bad stuff's about to happen, just like economically, and we don't want to be the guys that are in the seat at the time when it comes. So we're just going to go, oh, we'll take a break, let Gavin kind of look nice. People forget about it. Then we run him as the nice, clean, look, he cleaned up California. Disregard the fact that he was in California politics for like 20 years. Don't think about that. Look what he did with LA. He cleaned it all up. Because it legit, like last time I went to LA, it was way cleaner than it was 2-3 years before. So like he's making things change.
Yeah.
But it's not because he wants to, because he was the one that made it bad in the first place.
Right.
So that's my call. That's what I think is gonna happen. But you think it's gonna be as bad as like 2016 or how crazy it was then?
No. Well, I mean, that was bad when he won, but I mean, really, the summer of love was different in 2020.
Yeah.
But people were definitely pissed then, and also Hillary was the projected winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then he won. So there
won't be the shock, maybe.
I mean, the way that he's winning now, according to a lot of the polls I see, there's no way he's not going to win.
Well, not the Kids' Choice poll.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The one that really matters, guys.
And you know who loves Kids' Choice polls? All the
Choice
producers.
Kids poll.
Yeah, the Choice Kids polls. That's right. Just in time for Kamala to let a guy who was an illegal and rapist out of prison.
Yeah.
Oddly, somebody voted for her to be the president of choice at the Kids Pick Choice Awards.
I didn't know this thing still happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. See the green?
Yeah, the people that we really care about.
But she received 52% of the vote, so it was still close.
Really?
It was still close.
Yeah, it was 52,
See, look, that's
yeah.
a silver lining. Okay,
That's rigged.
I feel like things are getting better.
You know that somebody rigged it.
He got 48. 48-52.
That's
Messing with
what
those
if it's
ballots.
exactly what happens with the presidential numbers, and they're just taunting us with the Nickelodeon.
They're like, gotcha.
Nickelodeon, I believe, is some sort of a demon as well.
Really?
Yeah, the name. I don't remember what it was.
No, it was they're old cartoons from like the early century.
Yeah, but then before that.
Did it mean something before that? Like
I thought
think
they
it
cost
meant-
a nickel or something to watch.
That's the idea, yeah. Nickelodeon. Put your foot in your mouth. Let's make a documentary.
Suck it off.
That's the thing, though. It's
Suck that foot off.
do you remember the documentary about Nickelodeon all summer?
Yeah.
Quiet on set about all the children that were molested. Hey, Kamala, you won.
You got the vote.
That group, yeah, that same.
It was
those
it was the
guys
kids
don't
that
work
voted,
there.
though. It was the kids that voted.
Did they pick?
Yeah, the kids. That's kids pick. in the name.
Supposedly. My parents never let me vote for that. They always voted and said, send it in and say it's from you.
I wish I got to go Nickelodeon back in the day. So
Oh
cool.
man, they had such cool game
Orlando.
shows
Oh,
where you get slimed.
the slime
which kind
fountain
of is I view differently now.
retrospectively, but like it's still fun. Okay, as a kid, you think about it, it was fun.
Yeah, getting slimed in the
Double
bald
dare.
head after walking through the earwax thing.
Yeah,
Mark Summers is cool, though.
the host.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I dug Mark Summers. I saw Double Dare live when we were brought up on stage.
What? Where was it in Orlando?
No, it was in the Pontiac Silverdome.
Oh, they do like a road
I think
show.
it was that one. Yeah, they did a road show.
That's awesome.
And it was Mark Summers and I can't remember the female co-host, but she was there too.
There was a female co-host.
Not necessarily a co-host, but just somebody
Like
who,
look at
assisted.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, we have toys.
Yeah, okay.
You can win a super
Super
squirter.
soaker.
Super soaker.
Yeah. Super.
Super squirter's the
That's
woman I-
backstage.
Yeah,
all right,
that's,
with Dan.
That's the OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's the Dan stand back there.
Oh, you just pump and go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why is everything I say dirty on accident? I really meant to just say super soaker.
Yeah.
And I said super squirter.
But in your head, you switched it.
And my brain's like squirted. I don't even want to. I don't want
Fortunate
that.
there.
That'd be a weird commercial for a bunch of kids on Nickelodeon.
Would be weird.
They had a super squirter and they're just carrying around a big lady.
That'd be weird, but at the same
pushing
time,
a
kind of
wheelbarrow with a squirting woman in it.
on brand.
And it's like, yeah, I creamed you. There's cream on your face.
Go down the cream slide. There was cream on that slide.
There was cream on the slide.
There was absolutely cream on the slide.
Yeah, I put it there.
Yeah.
There's also things you can't say. What was it? You can't do this on television.
Uh-huh.
Pete and Pete. I used to get the magazine, the Nickelodeon magazine.
Hell yeah, dude.
I interviewed one of the Petes. He was awesome.
I
The
love both
shorter
those guys.
Pete.
Oh yeah.
One who had the tattoo of the lady that he would make dance on his
He was on
forearm.
the show. What was that? The game show where you had to guess what the contestants what
Attack
their
of the Show.
No, that's G4. It was like the kid would come up and they'd have like a special talent, like they could fart out of their armpit, and you'd have to guess what their talent was, and all the different people, like Amanda Bynes, the Pete guy, they'd all guess what the.
I don't know.
It was like 20 questions kind of thing.
Brain
Okay.
surge,
Was that it? No,
double dare,
no.
figure it out.
You're a bit younger than me.
Yes,
I was more
Summer
of the
Sanders in
salute your shorts era.
a little bit older. Like
Donkey lips and yeah.
I got that on Nick at Night.
You got salute your shorts on Nick at Night.
Yeah, they moved it to Nick at Night because it
Did they
wasn't
really?
like the fresh stuff that just came out. You know, I was like, Hey Arnold was my jam.
So the Nick at Night, the Nick After Dark.
Yeah, right after Three's Company.
Oh, Three's Company too. You were a fan of.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should have been Three's Company for Halloween.
Oh my God, that would have
Yeah,
been
why
a
don't we
great
do
costume.
that?
it was gonna be Chrissy.
Me,
I'll be John
this is
Ritter.
the best.
I look enough like him, and
I'd be like the
probably
gay
die young.
landlord.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to be the gay landlord guy that's like, you can't be
Yeah,
a
Don
straight
Knotts.
man and live here.
Drawn comparisons.
What?
I have people who've been like, you remind me of the landlord
Don Knotts?
of Don Knotts.
No.
Don Knotts definitely the better landlord.
Or maybe it was
No,
the
I liked the
second
Ropers.
landlord.
I liked the Ropers.
The Ropers were good.
Yeah.
I like the
I like-
Ropers
I
as
liked
well.
it, but Don Knotts, come on.
Don Knotts was just like, you better not be doing gay
Yeah.
things.
Don Knotts, you can do anything. It's hilarious.
Whoa. Just walking and scared of all gayness.
Yeah, I like the way Mr.
Ew,
Roper
icky.
played it, where he was just like,
Mr. Roper kind of knew,
yeah, he would just be like, he would just do looks.
even though he had the exact same.
Womp womp.
Like when Don Knotts left, he just left his wardrobe for Mr. Roper.
Yeah, and they just replaced. I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the same.
He just had the camo neckerchiefs and or not camo,
Yeah.
but the
The what is that thing?
the
Ascot.
ascot.
Scott, yeah, like
And
Fred from
Yeah, and then the vest, like he was on
Scooby-Doo.
safari.
yeah.
And just coming in and being like, homosexuals. Ew. No, we live here because yeah, this one's gay, and oh yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
he's pretends to be gay because you
So-
can't be straight
To live
in a
there
room
with
which
two
was
women.
is that actually a rule? Was that a rule back in the day or something?
don't-
The 70s.
I don't think no.
What a
I
ridiculous
mean, maybe
premise
at that apartment
for a show.
complex that was the rule, but I don't know how enforceable it was.
No,
I mean, obviously
it's
not
the
very
70s.
enforceable because they had a whole show
Yeah.
based on the premise.
The 70s Times Square was Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. Like it was just glory holes and hookers. Like
Girls,
it was
girls,
a
girls.
nightmare. Like the 70s was when everything
Dark time.
bad from the 60s like came back from war.
Yeah.
And dude, yeah, the 70s.
All the TV shows were bright and chipper? And
Not really. MASH. I mean, the opening song was "Suicide
Like,
is
you have
Painless."
you have the Brady Bunch, Cheers.
The Brady Bunch was
Even Taxi
Cheers was 80s.
was fun.
Taxi was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Was late 70s. Taxi was fun. You had the set that we have right over here, All in the Family.
All in the Family.
Yeah, but for a lot
little
of it
dark,
though,
but fun.
but in cinema especially, that's when everything
cinema was where it was
twisted.
like super dark.
That's where everything twisted into something that had never been done.
And you had Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver was much different than Taxi.
Yeah, very different.
Yes, Danny DeVito with a mohawk going to kill a senator.
Danny DeVito, you had Flew in the what's the
One
name?
Flew Over the
One
Cuckoo's
Flew-
Nest.
Yeah, One Flew in the Cuckoo's Nest, where he's in that movie too. And that's a very dark movie.
The Shining was in there, and then 1980, but was still made in 79. And it was also that was like the tail end of sort of very bland cinema. And then all of a sudden, 70s happened, and just stuff became incredible. I mean, there were great movies before that, like On the Waterfront, but I mean, people kind of overact like they were good.
Yeah.
They were
were
kind of
They
not.
were fine.
Some were fine. Some were better than others. I mean, you have people like Hitchcock, and there were,
But all the acting is like that more heightened acting where it's
Yes.
really
A transatlantic kind of
natural.
voice.
Yeah, it's not natural acting. And then you have James Dean coming in, and he's like trying to be a real person in a
He only
movie,
had like 3 movies though.
he did, yeah.
which is crazy, right?
I
Like
know,
he was
he's-
super young, and he changed the way acting was, along with a few other people. But like that style of acting was not natural. Like they would do, like you said, like the transatlantic, or it was just like heightened stage acting and not like realism.
But yeah, they never wanted you to know where it necessarily was taking place, so they had that voice that was a little bit of
I
everywhere.
love this tangent, by the way.
Yeah.
This is like a fun tangent.
It
You
is
know
a fun
that
tangent.
you guys have seen The Room, right?
I have.
Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah.
You know the you're tearing
Realism.
me apart, Lisa. He took that directly from James Dean in a movie, and he was actually trying to do a James Dean. And I think it's Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah.
you're tearing me apart.
Oh
to his dad or
wow!
whatever.
Yeah,
I want to say he studied.
it's like the worst.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
He loved James Dean.
That's hilarious.
He was obsessed with James Dean and all American cinema.
Oh yeah. Well, so was Marlon Brando. That was one of the people that he looked up to, and he
Another actor that does the realism
He
in an
did.
era
Too-
where they didn't do
Too
that.
far.
Yeah, a little too far.
Well,
when you bring in the butter,
Yeah,
And then he got fat.
he did
because
get
of the
fat.
butter.
Was he attractive fat?
I didn't think so.
You didn't think Dr. Moreau was a little hottie?
We had crusty lips around. It was like,
That movie had.
I will not act out of this.
It just looked like Chevy Chase.
Yeah, it did.
hang out.
Yes. That movie had 2 directors.
Yeah, because it was like a horror show trying to shoot that.
Yeah, I
movie.
think it was John Frankenheimer was just like, I can't do this. I can't.
Val Kilmer was having a divorce at the time, so he had to step out of the main role into this side role, which I think he's still awesome in. But it was just like a crazy.
Dr. Moreau's just a 400-pound Colonel Kurtz covered in suntan lotion.
Yeah, and he's like, I will not leave this hammock. You have to film me in the hammock.
As long as you carry me in the chair, have leopard people carry me.
That was like,
There's a great scene. I gotta find it, but it's Marlon Brando, and he's on the set of Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
And he's just stuck in the method of Colonel Kurtz, because I want to say James Dean did that too, which was Juilliard method training. But a bug just crawls in his mouth, and he's just like, a bug was in my mouth, and then he just keeps doing the character. It's just Colonel Kurtz. I ate a bug. Yeah. But yeah, I loved. I do like Rebel Without a Cause, though. I think it's a really good movie.
he's fantastic.
What did he do?
movie.
East of Eden? What was
East
it?
of Eden.
Yeah.
Rebel Without a Cause. What was the last one?
But you're right. Like once it got into the 70s, it got into like
Last one was one head in a duffel bag.
a squished one. A lot of that like
Giant.
realism, and you had like your Robert De Niro's and your Al Pacinos, and
Oh, they came after.
yeah, that were like the 70s, and they took that. And then it was weird because it switched from the 70s, which was like really dark, and everything was like violent and dangerous, and then it switched to the 80s where everything was like super bright and like upbeat. You know what I mean?
It kind of sucked. I mean, if you break it down, like a lot of the movies, like I do like a lot of 80s movies, but when
yeah,
you do break down a lot of the stories and how like cheesy some of them are, and the way that a lot of them, like it didn't have the teeth anymore. It went back to, we have to make money. So although I do love a lot of 80s movies, they're not, I can't think of one that's like as shocking or as brilliant as something you would have seen in the 70s. And then, I mean, and then the 90s, because of the independent film boom, it recaptured.
Came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like American History X.
Well, I was just thinking about
Boys in
that.
the Hood.
Like, yeah.
You have like the kind of resurgence of the dark commentaries on reality. Because like the 80s were kind of like an idealized time of like, we're all happy and everything's nice. And you have the John Hughes movies, and like, I love them. But you're right. They're like very kind of simple, kind of upbeat movies.
Yeah, like I love Uncle Buck, which came later in the 80s and a lot of stuff, but every movie was very much like upper crest white family.
True.
And you had
The Shining.
The Shining in 1980, yeah. Like that, I still feel like that's a 70s.
It's a little bit of
movie.
70s.
It was shot in the 70s, but I still feel like, but it did come out in 1980, but I think it just shifted to where they're just, a lot of the stuff, like even like Revenge of the Nerds and all that, like the ideas kind of, it's funny, I guess, whatever, but it like the Vacation movies were very strong.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of the 3 that came out in the 80s. Europeans, not great, but even with the 70s with the SNL and all that, like that was way better, you know. Really the best thing to come out of the 80s, I think, was Eddie Murphy. And honestly, a ton of his movies like Coming to America.
Hell yeah.
Beverly Hills came out in the
1
80s.
and 2, both of those.
Yeah, like 48 Hours.
Well, you had like some Lynch, like Blue Velvet and stuff like that.
Blue Velvet
had
was
a little more teeth.
Blue Velvet had teeth, and that's
Less Than Zero.
Full Metal Jacket was great.
Less Than Zero. That was
terrible,
It
dude.
came out in the 80s.
Yeah, but it's terrible. It doesn't follow the book at all.
I like that movie.
Oh, dude, the guy lives at the end and stuff. It takes away the whole point.
I didn't read the book, but I like the movie.
The book is about mindless zombie LA teenagers who don't care about anything except their own narcissistic self.
Robert Downey.
But he has a heart in it. Where they want him to live, in the book, the characters along with him. Yeah. The main character, he dies in the book. But sorry if you haven't read it.
Spoilers.
Eddie Snell's is great if you ever want. But
yeah,
the idea is they're almost like that American Psycho, the way that it's written, where they are completely vapid except for the things around them that give them pleasure. So even when you open the book, like I think one of the first things is like, we were at Spago having lunch, like stuff like that. Like you want to read it in their voice, so it's like it only draws you in for how much you kind of detest like their heathenism.
That's very relevant to today. You think like the same kind of like TikTok influencer kind of seems like the same model of what was in Less Than Zero.
Just everything in excess.
Everything in excess, drugs,
never being satisfied.
sex, all that is like the exact same thing.
Oh, we're selling it well. I mean, in the 80s, they just called it corporate greed, but people were on board with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a huge, I was alive in the 80s. There wasn't a huge, still a hippie movement, cocaine. Like, I didn't know it was everywhere, but now in hindsight, I did.
Dude,
just hanging out with my aunts and uncles.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. Well, and those
They
were
go at the
movies
party
that
and there's
we
a guy
watched.
just doing cocaine.
Yeah, and
It's like a joke because it's just normal.
That's all people did. So there was this excess, like you said. There was this way that everybody kind of was looking at money, like money's good. And the only time that you really saw it get taken down a bit was with Wall Street, with Gordon Gekko, where they're trying to show him as like this giant corporate Wall Street tycoon.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Sheen has to make this choice to save this airline or, kind of go with the greed.
Yeah.
And it's... I think that freed up the 90s.
There still was commentary.
But it freed up the 90s to get away from excess to go into like Clerks, which is now 30 years old, which is like the bare minimum that you can put towards it. Like that wasn't a celebration of people that worked at a convenience store. And that was just, that was a movie just about people.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was, I think it was always a celebration of excess.
I wonder if that is like there's like the notion that there's a 7-year cycle of trends, right?
Sure.
So you have like the 70s were dark, 80s were light, 90s were dark, into the light with 2000s were super bright. Everything's like silver and rom-coms and American Pie.
Night at the Roxbury.
All these like super bright, fun things. Did it continue after that? I'm trying to think like 2010s era.
I think 2010s went back into dark because we kind of like... There were a lot of really dark movies in the later 2000s, like visually, not even just like content.
Just tonally?
Tonally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, and now
We went into the horror. There's a lot of horror at that
It's
time
been really
too. Like
booming,
Saw
yeah.
and
horror's been booming because for the last 50 years, 60 years, I mean, since Psycho, what, 50 years? That was 60.
60.
Actually, that was a 60. So yeah,
63.
60 years.
yeah.
So they've always realized that horrors are inexpensive, but
And
they
they're
will.
really booming now.
Yeah, and then they make a massive profit. So you release something like Terrifier 3, it has this massive, like,
Right.
immediate
It
growth.
costs nothing to make.
No, horrors cost nothing to make at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's for some
And they're
reason.
original scripts. You know what I mean? Most of the
Yeah.
time, it's like, and there's a ton of horror novels that you can turn, like people don't even know about. Like I'm in this little like internet book club for horror novels, and there's just endless amounts that you can just pull from. And I think people are just really tired of constant sequels and Marvel and blah, 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 and it's like horror's
those are
finally
all
got its-
there.
its
Well,
spotlight.
even if you watch the first Iron Man, it's like it's a good movie.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole thing around it is very entertaining. The fact that you're dealing with this alcoholic, this guy who's just, he's
an anti-hero. He's like
completely an
yeah.
anti-hero. Yes, and you're not even rooting for him.
This rich kid that doesn't appreciate anything he has, and then
Nothing.
he's like thrown into this situation where he has to like realize the damage that his excess and non-caring
It's
does
his
to
own
people,
genius.
and then he turns that into a superhero. Like that first movie is awesome.
It's incredible.
And that movie didn't have a script when they were making that movie. They were making the script. They were writing the script as they were making the movie, and
I
it
can
turned
see
out to
that.
be like a really perfect superhero movie.
It really is. It's probably my favorite one, to be honest. Like the more I go back and watch them, I think that they are. And I mean, even The Dark Knight, the first one, I think is the best one. The scene with Tom Wilkinson inside the restaurant is
It's not even the first one. It's Batman Begins,
Batman-
and everybody
well,
forgets
Batman
about
Begins,
it.
yeah.
I love
Because
Batman
the
Begins.
Dark Knight just
Oh, no.
totally overshadowed it.
Oh, I just mean that was like of that.
Oh, I gotcha.
That
Yeah,
time. I mean,
It's definitely different. It's
I
almost
saw the Keaton one in the theater when I was 7.
Yeah.
So I was so excited about that one.
love that movie.
And then I saw Batman Returns in the theater. Then I saw Batman Forever, and then got to Batman and Robin and was like, no, thank you.
Not for me.
That is the worst.
I hate that movie.
It's the worst.
As a kid, I was like, no, I'm not into this one.
It's
I
just
was like 9.
And I guess Schwarzenegger still has his Mr. Freeze costume.
Oh my gosh. Somewhere we used to work, somebody wanted Garrett and I to make a full Mr. Freeze
Yeah.
costume to look exactly like the one from the movie.
Yeah.
In like a week.
Yeah,
We
it
had
was
a
a
week.
ridiculous
We were like,
ask, but I was excited to do it. I was like, let's go. Like,
how are we going to build this thing?
I'm down. I did all the research to get ready
Yeah,
to
we
like
started
build
working
it.
on it, and then they
I
canceled
wish
it.
we did it. I wish we did it
I
because
think
it
we
would have been a
would've
very
killed it.
expensive costume, but awesome.
Yeah, I was like, what do we get PVC pipes with LED lights?
We were like full on gonna
Film, what are
build
we
this
gonna
freaking
do?
thing. Like I was looking into how to make the plastic head thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then the script got canceled, sadly.
Yeah.
Probably because it was going to be too expensive.
Yes.
we only gave him a quote of like $25,000.
Like, this is what it's going to be. You want it to look right, okay? This is what it's going to be.
We have to build you a Mr. Freeze suit that they use in movies, and I have to figure it out. Like, I don't know the
You
guy
want it to
who
look
made
like crap? Or do you want it
Yeah.
to look good?
Because that's one of those things where you can't like it has. If it doesn't look perfect, it looks
Yeah,
stupid.
you can't skip it. You're going to look like you're wearing
And even when it
cardboard,
looks
like-
perfect, it still looks stupid.
Right.
Yeah, even when it looks good,
But cool
it's going to look
stupid.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, at least you put the effort in.
Yeah.
If
you
you
could
made
tell.
the Bane costume from that movie, all you would need is a vest and
the
crazy
thing's-
straws and a gas mask.
Yeah, it's like
That's
$45
the
bucks.
stupidest thing I've.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
He doesn't talk. He just runs around like he has the presence of the Hamburglar the entire movie,
Oh,
but he doesn't even talk.
where are your hamburgers?
We don't even get the good vein.
I was born in the kitchen.
I was. I've been making Big Macs all day, and then the president comes in, former, works at
Pretends
my
he knows.
window.
Why is
He
this guy
doesn't know how to
talking
fry.
through a crab?
Yeah, why is this? Welcome to McDonald's. You're like, oh,
Took your order.
I think your speaker's broken. It's not.
It's just how I talk.
It's my face.
Fucking dumb movie. And I love Tom Hardy.
Oh, he's great.
He's a great actor.
But he's excellent in a
Movie.
lot of bad movies.
It's
I
true.
didn't say a lot of bad movies, but he is
Like
excellent
Venom.
in bad
Venom?
movies.
I like him in Venom.
I like him in
I
Venom.
really like the movies.
and
Venom.
he's okay in Maximum Carnage, which is also not good.
Yeah.
And now they're doing a third.
Yeah. I heard it's better than Maximum Carnage.
I don't know.
But,
Venom was like
don't wanna
my
watch
favorite character next to the Punisher, and in my opinion, it's never been done right.
No, it's never.
Even
it's
Sam
been
Raimi
done twice, and
said that the studio ruined the third one for him, so that was never
they
done
had
right.
too many things
too
on
much
the
going
stove.
on,
in
and
that
he didn't want to
movie.
do any of it. Sam Raimi wanted to do the Vulture,
Yeah.
and
he should've.
he should have.
I do love those Spider-Mans, though. Those are two of my favorites. I love the first one, especially.
Spider-Man 1 and 2
There's
are
all this
the
crazy,
best movies.
Like, I just watched this documentary. It was a movie it's called Don's Plum. And I had never heard of this movie. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
And it's with Tobey Maguire, Kevin O'Connelly, and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's like this improvised movie that they shot right around when he was doing Leo was doing What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Okay.
And Toby was becoming a star. Then they were all friends that were stars. So they improvised this movie. Like the clips you see of it seem really good, but it's interesting. You can check it out on, I think, YouTube. But it's a documentary about how basically Tobey Maguire's jealousy for Leo becoming such the star and being the star of that. He went so absolutely crazy that they ended up like suing the filmmakers. There's all these court depositions.
What the heck?
He gaslit DiCaprio.
Wait, this is in real life or in the
This
movie?
is in real life. Like the account of it from everybody is saying like, yeah, he said he wanted to sit us down to dinner. He made Tobey Maguire comes over, makes Kraft macaroni and cheese, cuts up a bunch of hot dogs, puts it in there and just starts screaming at everybody in the room. And he was mad about a scene in particular where he was talking about how he likes
Stole that from me!
Yeah.
This was my day!
Dinner. But it's like he talks in the scene about how he likes to put his finger in his ass, and they were telling
That's the
him
plum?
yeah, that's Don's Plum. He's Don. And
Okay.
Leo plays Jack Horner. And part of that is sorry, I thought it might be my luggage. It's still not.
Still lost?
Still lost for days.
No.
But anyway, it's worth checking out because you see him how crazy he went, and then you see like these court depositions with like Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, and then like these
What?
guys who wanted
They're
to
friends,
make the
though.
movie. They are.
They're still friends.
They just remain
sued
friends.
him?
They just went after the people who made this movie. And like three of the guys are like, this was like the best movie. And then one guy's like, I thought it sucked, but Leo did like it.
So you can watch it.
I
It's
don't
like-
think, no, you can't
No?
find the movie. You can just find these
Just
like,
the
small
documentary.
clips. The documentary about Don's Plum.
Sounds awesome.
But I didn't realize Tobey Maguire was like very, very jealous. I get it. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah.
People get jealous. People can do bad things, you know.
But then he got Spider-Man.
And then I don't think he cares after that.
Yeah.
Because
I think Leo was up for Spider-Man
he
as
got
well.
Wonder Boys.
What?
Wonder Boys. It's with him and Michael Douglas.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
It's actually pretty good.
Mm.
There's also the one where the cider house rules
Yes.
Yeah.
about the frat house
Yes.
with old men.
That's weird.
I think I got that right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Caine's like, good night.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Back to Batman.
Good night, everybody.
He's in everything. It's like every time his phone rings, he goes, "Yeah, I'll do it." What's the role? Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, he says
He's
said
got a
yes to
mortgage.
everything.
I know, that's what I mean.
like, I
Okay,
gotta pay
I'll do a
bills.
movie.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I couldn't believe he retired.
Yeah, I know.
But he's always great. He's great in everything.
He is.
Oh, he's the best Alfred by far. That I'll give him.
Yeah.
He has the
Well,
best
Michael
advice.
Goff, I like Michael Goff.
I do too. But I also think that by far Michael Caine, if you listen
He's a
to
better
just
actor.
the dialogue,
Yeah.
like the advice he gives is solid. Alfred's
Why
one
do
of-
we fall down, Dave?
See what I'm saying?
So we can learn to pick ourselves back up.
See, it's a nice little
Yeah.
thing.
I want
It's
an
right there.
Alfred.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's just called a dad.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
It's just a dad.
I like in movies they just make butlers like we all have one, and we're
And they're
gonna
all
relate.
wise.
Like it's all
And they're all
normal.
really like mature and wise.
Oh yeah,
They're not like, fuck this guy.
like
Work
Mr.
for him.
Belvedere was never like did anything wrong.
And in the Fresh Prince.
Except for Fresh Prince, he was always snarky.
Yes,
Yeah, but-
Jeffrey was a dick. I loved it,
Yeah,
but
he
he
was
was
a dick.
soft at times.
But he was a dick, but like
A fun dick.
yeah, sure.
he was.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's snarky, but like it was always kind of like tongue in cheek.
Mm.
Yeah, it was very dry British humor.
Yeah.
where you had Will basically just calling Uncle Phil fat. He would kind of do it in a way that was a
Yeah.
little more
Yeah,
subtle.
sly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slick.
See, not everything in the 90s was dark.
No, I don't think everything was. I think there was a lot of good stuff that came out of it. I think most of the stuff in the 70s was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even if you look at like Bad News Bears and Meatballs, I try to watch Bad News Bears with my son. There's every racial slur and gay slur on earth in that movie. And I was like, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
This is just how they talk.
This is generally kind of a dark era. Even like Popeye, right?
Yeah, it's
Something that's like a cartoon. That's
eerie as hell.
It's this dark, like moody, weird movie with like weird, strange music. I love that movie, but like it's super weird and.
Well, it had a weird director, didn't it?
Yeah, he's like some Norwegian dude or something.
No, but he was known, but I think he just never did anything like that. I want to say it was like a Robert Altman. Yeah, there you go.
Altman.
Look at that.
Yeah, weird movie, but I love it.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff was, but it was a movie. It's a movie that I love. But then you had Olive Oil, which made more sense than Jack Nicholson's wife in The Shining. I mean, Shelley Duvall did a great job, but she was born to be Olive Oil.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then she died in a trailer talking about the aliens that lived in her brain.
That was unfortunate.
I'm not saying it was funny, but yeah, she did a lot of drugs.
Yeah, 70s. It was the 70s, man.
How was she related to Robert Duvall? Was that his sister?
She.
His wife? I thought she was. I could be wrong. Robert Duvall was in a ton of great movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not related.
Not related.
Not related?
I thought they were.
No.
You learn something new every day.
The more you know.
I probably knew that and just didn't say it. I didn't remember it.
Did you guys hear about the pink cocaines?
What?
What?
The pink cocaine.
Pink cocaine?
Yeah.
Cocaine I just did?
I hope not, because that's what was found in Liam Payne's system after he jumped off that balcony.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it came from Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy Combs employees were required to carry pink cocaine and around at all times.
Is this like a special cocaine, or is
It's
it
actually
like colored
okay. So I was
that way
reading,
just for
and it
fun?
said it's multiple substances, including a mixture of methamphetamine, ketamine, and MDMA. Cocaine is not necessarily found in the drug, despite its name.
It was definitely
Misnomer?
methamphetamine, crank, and then you have ecstasy and ketamine. So it's basically it's a sex drug, is all it is. When you break it down.
And they're thinking that that's what made him do the.
Well, I think if that's in your system,
He had
I would
multiple
assume
substances in his system, but it is strange that
The connection.
he had the pink stuff, which is associated with Diddy.
Dude, P. Diddy's like a super villain.
he is, and like the drug known as Tucci, like Stanley Tucci, but not the same guy.
same.
And only one C is mentioned in a complaint filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a producer and former videographer for Combs, who sued the music mogul in February, accusing him of sexual harassment. So
the
connection.
So Lil Rod says it was Tucci.
He has a little rod,
He goes by Lil Rod. I would not go by Lil Rod.
big rod.
No, I'd be like,
Long
Big
Rod.
Daddy
Maybe it's
Rod.
like an opposite. It's like Lil Jon, but he's big.
If I was Big Daddy Kane, not Little Rod.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Little Rod.
Like I'm Lil
Little
Rod, but I
P.
got a big.
He's just real small, and he's just like, it's tough all over. I get no respect.
But he just has like a monster.
Giant cock. But it's a small.
Small man.
Get in the elevator.
Sad.
I talked to my wife after sex. She called me from a hotel.
Gotta put a towel down.
I had no respect here. Lil Rod.
No.
No respect for Lil Rod.
Hey, the election's next week. You know where you can watch a special that somebody's gonna be in?
Where?
That's blazetv.com/normal. Not really though. I just wanted to say /normal. Just 'cause
I'm
I'm
gonna
trying to get people to go to
be-
normal.
It's actually blazeelection.com/.
You can go there, go check it out, and then you could subscribe and then put our name in it so they know that you like us.
That would help. And I also will be there. I'm going to the Paris of the Midwest, as it was once called and has also declined into, my hometown of Detroit. I'll be interviewing people on the street.
Feet on the ground.
I'm going to be at possibly American Coney Island, I'm hearing, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Because I love those hot dogs. So
You
I'm just
have body armor.
basically it's just going to be me eating hot dogs while they ask me questions about the president. And
There's a
I'll be
bunch of
"I
like
don't know."
really political like insight conversation. They're like, we're gonna go to Dave on the street here in Detroit, and you're just like halfway through a foot long.
I'll be like, oh hi,
When you start joking.
Let me finish this real quick.
Oh, this place got good hot dogs. Who's winning in Wayne County?
Oh,
This restaurant.
this guy.
Yeah, but I should be there. So come check it out. You can come by, say hi. And I if you want to be interviewed, I'd talk to you too. Why not put it out there? Maybe if you know that I'm going to be at a Coney Island, allegedly, I'm just throwing it out here now. You'll know I'm broadcasting from there because I'll post it.
Nice.
And if you want to talk some politics or come out and share, you can.
Yeah.
All you have to do is buy me a hot dog.
That's so easy.
That's like what, $5 now?
I'll have
Can
a
a hot dog cost $10?
Come on.